welcome again to George and Willy's World. I'm Mrs. Mapes. This is Mrs. Krantz. Hello, Mrs. Krantz. We have George and Willy, and we're glad that you're back with us for another exciting adventure of George and Willy's World. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing, Mrs. Krantz.
Well, we've been taking long walks because the weather's been so nice, and George loves to go on hikes. And she's also been working with the children in Alta Sierra School in Miss Wallace's second grade class, helping them become better readers. And she's also on Wednesday afternoons at the Madeline Helling Library from 4 to 5 o'clock.
Wow, she's been very busy. Willy's been kind of my therapy dog the last couple of weeks because I've had to stay home again. I had my same hand get operated on again, so Willy's been my therapy dog, and I'm glad that we're here today. As we're talking about how we're feeling, one of our guests today, a special guest today, has to do with where do you go when you're not feeling well? Boys and girls at home, where do you think you go, or your parents would take you if you're not feeling very well? And that would be, where do you think?
I think the doctor.
The doctor is right. And we have a doctor here on our set today. Where would a dog go if they weren't feeling well?
A dog?
A dog or
I think,
a cat.
Oh, the veterinarian.
The veterinarian.
Yes.
So veterinarians are for animals, and doctors are for people. Yes. Well, there's special kinds of doctors for special kinds of people. It's a regular doctor. I go to a doctor or a physician as an adult, and children go to a physician, but also called a pediatrician. And we have a pediatrician here today who takes care of children. So I'm real excited to meet him. How have you been feeling now with the changing of the weather? How have you been feeling?
Well, actually, I've been feeling pretty well, but today I went to the doctor.
You did?
I did, and I was very happy because I had some tests done, and all the results were fine, so it made me feel very relieved and happy. Oh. I was glad I had gone.
So you go to the doctor, though, to make you feel better?
Yes.
Yes, and he'll do those things. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're here today. And Willy's been good. He hasn't been sick. How about George?
George has been very healthy, and she goes to the veterinarian once a year. We call it her well baby checkup, just so the doctor, veterinarian does the things that a child does at the doctor's.
Yes, and that's what Willy has done too. But he seems to go all the time. He always seems to go to the veterinarian. They know him very well at the veterinarian clinic. So, well, let me introduce our guest today. His name is Dr. Ken Cutler. Please come on. Welcome very much for being here. I'm so excited you're here. And have a seat. And I'm going to ask you a few things about what you do and what your job consists of.
Sure.
And first of all, what interested you to become a doctor and then a pediatrician?
So I actually grew up in a family where my father was a doctor, and I'd see him go off to work and come back, and he'd tell me what he did. And taking care of people sounded very interesting. And I was interested in science in school as well.
Ah, that's very important.
Yeah, so it seemed a natural thing to go into. And while I was training in medical school, you then decide often what you're going to specialize in, whether you're going to see adults or children, things like that. And I spent some time taking care of children and had a very good teacher, and got inspired by him and enjoyed it a lot. So that's what I decided.
How many years did it take to become a doctor?
Well, first you go to college for 4 years, and then medical school was 4 more years, and then 3 years of training to see children.
Wow. So very dedicated. How long have you been a physician now?
I've been a doctor for about 17 years. Yeah.
17?
Yeah, and it stays interesting the whole time.
Yes. I've been a teacher for, this is my 15th year.
That's great.
Maybe it was 16. I'm not sure, but I love it just as much this year as I have in the past, my first year. So I know when you find something you really like, you like it every year.
That's
you
right.
like it every day. So I'm glad you like your job, and as much as I hope the children find something that they're interested in.
Yeah.
So you also work for one of the things that helps produce our George and Willy's World, which is called First Five. And it's a very important program for parents and their children. Would you like to talk a tiny bit about First Five?
Sure. First Five is a California program.
And you might want to talk to the boys and girls at home, yes.
Yeah, so First Five is a California program where we take money and put it into projects in the community to help with kids from very young, from birth until 5 years of age. So we help pay for things like nurses going out to the home to look at children and make sure they're doing well, for education, for daycare providers to learn more about what they do. And so First Five has been in the community for years and is doing a great job. We're very proud of it.
And you're very involved in that, too.
Yes, I've been on that commission working with First Five for about 3 years now.
We're
Thanks.
glad to have you. Very good. And you have 2 stories that you're going to be reading to the children.
Yes.
I love the name of the first story. I laughed as soon as I read it, and so I'm excited to hear the whole thing through. So please,
It's a fun book.
Boys and girls at home, are you ready to listen to our first story? George and Willy, are you ready? Willy, come here, Willy. Willy, come here. Are you ready?
Hi, Willy.
And you may get started.
Thanks. So our first book is called I'd Rather Get a Spanking Than Go to the Doctor. It's written and illustrated by Karen G. Franson. My mom says I have to go to the doctor to get shots. I say, not today, Mom. I'm too busy. I go into my room to get busy. My mom follows me. She says, I have to go today. But I don't need shots, I say. I go outside to jump rope. My mom follows me. She says I might get very sick if I don't have shots. I already feel sick. I go to my room to lie down. I close my eyes and try to rest. My mom follows me. She says I can rest when I get home. I say, okay. But first, I better clean my room. Then I have to brush my teeth, feed my dog, do my homework, and take some cookies to my sick friend who lives far away. I get up to get cookies. My mom's standing in the doorway. She's not smiling. I start to cry. My mom hugs me. She says to wash my face and I'll feel better. I say, not going to the doctor will make me feel better, and ice cream will make me feel better. Even getting a spanking will make me feel better than going to the doctor. My mom says, even a spanking? Well, maybe not a spanking. I get into the car. We drive to the doctor's office. I'm still crying. The doctor says, hi. He says, I'm getting big. I think I'm too big to get shots. Maybe I'm too big to go to the doctor. Just as I get up to leave, the doctor rolls up my sleeve. He has a needle in his hand. I scream very loud. The doctor says, "Why are you screaming? I didn't give you a shot yet." He asks me if I can count all the balloons on the wall. I start to count. Then he says, "All done. That wasn't so bad, was it?" My mom says, "Don't you feel better?" I say, "An ice cream would make me feel better." My mom says, "Don't you want to clean your room first, brush your teeth, feed your dog, do your homework, and take some cookies to your sick friend who lives far away?" Maybe my friend shouldn't have cookies when he's sick. Maybe he should have shots too. I feel better now, but I'd still like an ice cream. And that's that.
That was cute.
Yeah. A lot of kids are nervous about going to the doctor.
I bet they are. And what are some of the things you do to tell children it's okay that they are where they are? To make them relax?
Well, we usually don't jump right in there and give shots right away. We sit down and we talk to the children. We talk to their family. We measure them and see how they're growing. We see how they're doing and if there's anything we can do to help. And if we need shots, which we often do to help prevent the kids getting sick, then we slowly introduce it, and our nurses are great at doing it, and the kids handle it well.
Well, that's great. Yeah, they're lucky to have you as a doctor, too.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. And you have another book for us.
We do. I do have a second book, and it's called Who's Sick Today? It's by Lynn Cherry. Who is sick today? Beavers with fevers. A snake with an ache. A small red fox with chicken pox. Who's at the doctor today? A whale on a scale. A chimp with a limp. Who's in the hospital today? Llamas in pajamas. Young stoats with sore throats. Cranes with pains. Possums with blossoms, and baboons with balloons. Who's all better today? A porcupine who's feeling fine. Thanks.
And we now have a reindeer, too. So we also have a reindeer who's here today. So... And he seems to be feeling just fine. Thank you for that story. So if you don't mind just sitting there for a bit, and we've got some crafts. And Mrs. Krantz is going to be talking and teaching us our crafts today.
Okay, did you want to show the different things? And then
Well, we've got some different things over here. Every doctor. Do you have a doctor bag?
I do have a doctor bag.
Do you? And what's inside your doctor bag?
I carry a stethoscope, which I think you have today.
I do have a stethoscope. Do you mind putting that on?
of course.
And I listen to hearts with that.
And where is your heart?
Your heart is right about here.
So,
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
is it the
Very
other
good.
way?
This way?
You can use either
Either way?
side.
Either
That
way.
bigger side picks up high pitches. The
Ah.
other side picks up low pitches, low sounds.
And so you have a stethoscope, and then those go in the ear when you want to hear the heart.
Yes.
So you've got a stethoscope. We also have this in our bag today.
And that has a fancy name. We look in ears with it, and it's called an otoscope.
Have you ever been to a doctor and they've looked in your ear? I think so. This is an otoscope.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
So that goes in. We're going to show you how to make this. And this is a,
Blood pressure cuff.
Oh, great.
I'll put it on.
Okay.
And you put it on way up here, and then you need the stethoscope. Doesn't
to
this
listen to the arm.
go here?
Right,
That goes-
right about there.
And that goes there?
And
And
it
you
gives a
listen.
hug to the arm. You feel that.
And a stethoscope. And then we also have what every parent has at home, and that is a thermometer. Yeah, a thermometer. Isn't that wonderful? We're going to show you how to make these things right now. So the first thing is, in order to make your bag,
Okay.
what Mrs. Krantz has is just a pre-cut out piece
Right.
of cardboard.
So it has, you can use this, you make your pattern and cut it out of nice heavy paper. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to glue this or tape this on so it's there when we fold everything. Okay, and then these are going to be the handles on either end, so we want them to be strong, so we doubled it. And so we can tape the handles. I think I've lost my tape.
Looks like you have a
I've
friend
lost the end of the tape. That's okay. Well, we would tape them on both sides so they're strong, and then we're going to fold the edges in for the bottom, and these are the sides. Yep. So we tape the sides, and we'd have the handles inside. So we have a really nice doctor's bag.
You could
It's
use,
really easy to do.
and you could also use a purse maybe that your parents say that you can use, or maybe if you go out shopping, there's many places around town that has dollar stores. You can find little bags and use that as a doctor bag or a nurse bag.
Right.
And then we've got all these things. All this is a popsicle stick and some construction paper. And we just spun the construction paper around to make a funnel and taped it.
That's perfect.
And it fits right on the popsicle stick, and that goes in our bag for those important visits that we have to go.
And how did you make the thermometer?
The thermometer is made from a straw, a clear straw. It probably could even be a colored straw. And we strung some felt. You could probably even put yarn, just strung it right through the straw so it made it strong, and then made marks with a permanent marker, and it looks like a real thermometer. And whenever you have a temperature and use a thermometer, you put the thermometer under your tongue. Why is that? That always has been a question of mine. Why do you put a thermometer under your tongue or under your arm? I don't know that.
Yeah, the under the tongue just gives you a good temperature from the body. We're trying to get the body's more core inner temperature, and the under the tongue is a good place for that.
Because some children, even in my class, think that if you just put it in your mouth, it'll work.
It's not as accurate.
So whenever your parents say, under your tongue, that's to get the best reading to see if you have a temperature. And if you have a high temperature, that's an indication that your parents need to take you to the doctor. So we're going to put that in our doctor bag.
Okay,
So
what else do we have? This is,
That's just an extra little bottle. It's a pill bottle. You could put some little tiny candy pieces in there, or M&Ms, some little tiny candy that look like little pills. But make sure your parent helps you put in the right kind of pills into our pill bottle.
right, just
And
pretend
it has to be
ones.
empty. Always parents make sure that it's an empty bottle. And then that goes in there.
Okay.
Another thing you might want to put in there is some of these stickers. That could be when you go to that patient. Do you give stickers out?
We do.
And you could put those stickers in there so when you go to a very good patient, like maybe Willy. I think Willy's been a very good patient today. So we're going to put him a little sticker right there. There we go. He's been a good boy. How about George? Would George like
Would you
one?
like a sticker, George? I don't know that she's been a good girl, but she'll have a sticker. There you go, sweetie.
So stickers can go in there.
That's
Put
great.
that in our pill bottle, in our
Yes.
bag.
And we can put in our blood pressure.
Yes.
What do you call this, really? The thing that
It's
takes
got a very,
Very
long,
long
fancy
name.
name, a
Yeah.
sphingomanometer.
And don't forget your Band-Aids. Always need Band-Aids.
Yes.
Different sizes, different colors, different designs. They go in there.
My favorite Band-Aids are the colors or the ones with the cartoons. They do make me
yes.
feel better.
And we also have cotton balls. They go in there. These are popsicle sticks, but I would also use them as tongue depressors. What is the point of when you go to a doctor, they say ah, and they put this way back in your mouth and you feel like you're going to gag. What is that?
Well, we want to see the whole back of the mouth, and the tongue is often in the way, so we use that to put a little pressure gently and to get them to open up. And when you say ah, the tongue drops down and the back of the throat moves up, and it's easier to see.
So don't be afraid if they say, open your mouth and say, ah, and they'll put something like this in your mouth. It's very safe. They go to school. They are the experts in making you feel better. So we're putting these inside. We're putting this inside. And now we're ready to go and help anybody in our area and in our home and our doctor or our dogs and cats.
Right.
You can also make one of these if you would like to. I'm sure you have some very important and smart people at home that can help you. And last but not least, I have my doctor shirt on. I have my stethoscope, and I am Dr. Mapes, of course. I am a doctor's assistant. I don't have the actual schooling for that. So this is my doctor's assistant, and your parent can make you a doctor's assistant or a doctor's outfit also. So you can kind of fold that up and put it in your doctor bag or your doctor purse, and ready to go.
Yep.
I used to love playing doctor and nurse when I was growing up. It's one of the things I enjoy. How about you?
Yes.
And you had a doctor as a father, so you
Yes.
probably did that too.
We did all the time, and it does help. When kids play doctor at home, they're more comfortable when they come to see us.
Oh, good. So boys and girls and families at home, don't be afraid to make those for your children. It's okay. And I want to share, if you are looking for other activities and other community events coming up, please either look online at George and Willy's World at yahoo.com. Also, you can write NCTV, and please write those letters to us so that we can read them on the air. Another place is 235 South Auburn Street, Grass Valley, California, 95945. So boys and girls, make sure that you can look for more activities, or you can make these activities at home. And please tell us if you've used these. Write us and tell us how they worked for you. And thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I am so glad to meet you.
I enjoyed it.
Okay,
Thanks.
and boys and girls at home,
Thank you.
remember to listen to lots of stories, do your jobs, and have fun playing. So some of the things that are in here, you have in your bag. Now, is there something else in this bag that you carry that we don't have, that maybe might be important for them?
I think you covered almost everything that we carry around. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, you did a great job.
All right.
That's
Well,
a good
thank
bag.
you. All right. Bye-bye, boys and girls.
Bye.
Until next
Bye-bye.
time.